San Antonio when she was 5. While attending Boston University, she developed a passion for learning about food. Recently, she completed a training course at the CIA, that's right over here at the world, yes. Maria currently works for the San Antonio Food Bank as a certified chef, nutritionist, education coordinator, and through her work, she's able to expose others to different whole foods, how to prepare them in tasty and healthy ways. And she usually adds in some tidbit that leaves them thinking about, is this right, how we aliment ourselves? She's going to explain what that is. Please welcome Maria Palma!
Hey, don't play with your food. Well, my passion for food is really about how food has the power to bring together different spectrums: culture, art, economics, geography, politics, history. The following images are very personal, but within each experience, there are underlying factors that go beyond the obvious. The term salad days refers to someone's youthful time, a time of inexperience and enthusiasm. It was first seen in Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra. Cleopatra describes her past affair with Julius Caesar as my salad days, when I was green in judgment, cold in blood. When we travel and explore the world around us, we are greeted with amazing flora. This is Pacaya, or the date palm. Pacaya can be found pickled and bought commercially here in the US, but in Guatemala they are often fried with an egg batter and then smothered with a tomato sauce. A little bitter with a nice bite, this is local comfort food. Food is often tied to the idea of national identity. The fight over which Middle Eastern country can claim the origins of hummus is a reflection of the ongoing conflicts in that region. It's rather interesting to think that while we are able to purchase hummus so easily these days, the Lebanese are actively attempting to ban Israel from exporting the staple food to Europe and to the US. Cheese has been around for thousands of years. Different cheeses get their characteristic flavor profiles from various components: the milk, the environment, the bacteria. Cheese in itself is a perfect example of terroir and craftsmanship, and as one of my favorite writers, Harold McGee, writes, cheese is one of the great achievements of mankind. People have found ways to eat food on sticks. Corn dogs, kebabs, cotton candy, and yes, even grilled fish on a stick. Crispy skins, salted well, these little fishies are great and often fed as street food in Japan. Wabi-sabi is the Japanese belief in the beauty of simplicity, of nothingness really. Just with a few touches, one can easily create pleasant settings. By creating visual appeal, the food that is in front of you is elevated to another level. Much in the same way, a croissant is delicious simply for what it is: good butter, flour, yeast. Poor man's food originally, we now find sushi dusted with hot Cheetos at certain HEBs here in San Antonio. I've seen it. The globalization of sushi is a gastronomic phenomenon. Originally for the Japanese, the seasoned vinegared rice would ferment the raw fish, killing some of the bacteria. So really it was more about the rice and not the fish. Some foods are seen as taboo. What seems weird or gross to some is a delicacy to others. Iguana, best during the months of February and March in Guatemala, is an example of this. It was the Mayans who taught us to eat these lizards. They are best when the females are ready to lay the eggs, as the eggs are cooked along with the rest of the iguana. Omar Khayyam wrote of herbs, and this reviving herb, whose tender green fledges the river lip on which we lean. Ah, lean upon it lightly, for who knows? From what once lovely lip it springs unseen. Coriander is the seed of the cilantro plant, and here we are able to use both the herb and the spice of the same plant. Lycopene is the phytochemical that gives watermelon its red color. Watermelon is rich in cancer fighters, especially against prostate, gentlemen. Watermelon belongs to the same family as cucumbers, pumpkins, and squash, and it's about 92% water. And they were used as canteens by early explorers. Initially, the ancient Egyptians noted how the liver of geese, who naturally gorged themselves on figs, would produce a delicious food, foie gras. Later, Romans used Jewish slaves to feed the geese, and these slaves emigrated to France and Germany. German immigrants were the ones who brought the practice with them to Wisconsin, and Wisconsin was actually the capital of foie gras production. In 1826, Friot Sovereign wrote, A tempting diet, dainty and well prepared, holds off for a long time the exterior signs of age. So it is equally correct to say that, other things being equal, the ladies who know how to eat are comparatively 10 years younger than those to whom this science is a stranger. At the Miho Museum in Japan, seasonal produce is grown using the methods of natural agriculture. The vegetables grown using this method are packed with splendid flavor. These vegetables are pure, safe food. When we use produce grown seasonally and locally with minimal contaminants, we don't have to do much to bring out the natural flavors of these foods. When cultures come together, like the Vietnamese and French, locals may learn to adopt some of the colonizers' ways: baguettes, ham, pâtés. The banh mi was created pretty much to everyone's delight, incorporating local ingredients and preparations, including barbecued pork and pickled garniture. The top part of the cashew fruit is roasted until it breaks open, and the cashew nut that we commonly see roasted and salted is born. The red fruit, also known as the cashew apple, may be eaten raw or in jams and jellies. The juice can also be used to make wine or other alcoholic beverages. Cashews are native to the Amazonian region, but it was the Portuguese that took the seeds to India and East Africa. Eating the colors of the rainbow can allow us to be strong and nutritionally in balance with ourselves. This beautiful array of pigments found in fruits and vegetables come from various phytochemicals. Local food markets can be great sources of nutrition, but also of inspiration and curiosity. During one of my classes one time, a student asked, "What is the yolk?" "Well, my dear," I responded, "the yolk is life." This is a guinea hen egg, which are my personal favorite. The yolk is a bright orange. It's very creamy and rich. Yolks are orange when the hen's diet is rich in alfalfa and corn. And quoting McGee again, the egg is one of the most nutritious foods we have. We owe our culinary traditions to those before us. An indigenous lady from a Mexican village, expert in making tortillas, travels to San Antonio for a Latin American conference here at the CIA. What a transition from the wood-burning comals to the ultra-modern, fully equipped sterile environment. I believe that when we are able to share a meal together, barriers are broken. Recently, the U.S. Department of State passed a diplomatic culinary partnership initiative. By using smart power diplomacy, the U.S. attempts to use food and hospitality as ways to enhance how formal diplomacy is conducted, cultivating cultural understanding and strengthening relationships through the shared experience of food.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I was going to put some pictures on Facebook here. Maybe not that one. But quick question. Now, you came from Guatemala originally. You then went to college, but you weren't into food until Boston University?
Yeah, I didn't even know how to cook an egg until my late freshman year.
What was your major then?
International relations.
So that didn't work out and you had to come up with something, or what happened?
No, it obviously did work out.
No, it did. Yes, it did. Let's see, I've got a couple more dumb questions here. What's a hummus fight? Okay, I'm sorry. Tell us about that.
Well, actually, there's kind of two ways that the Middle East fights over this hummus war. And one is the countries actually try and create the largest amount of hummus. And the last one was...
My hummus is bigger than your hummus?
Pretty much. But also, there's an association in Lebanon that really tries to limit how Israel markets their hummus here in the United States and in
What exactly is hummus?
Hummus is actually the word for chickpea, but when you read old recipes, hummus tahina is hummus as we know it today, because hummus is chickpeas mixed with tahini and olive oil and a little cumin, maybe some salt.
Okay. What's tahini? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, tahini is actually sesame paste, so kind of like peanut butter made out of sesame seeds.
And are you going to have bison for...
I would love to.
Wow. Now, yeah, what do you eat if you were into this all day? Or do you eat junk food?
Not really. I have my guilty pleasures. I love French fries, but I love when I know where the potatoes are coming from.
That's a quote.